Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we are going over 3 tips for beginner filmmakers. Alright guys, we got 3 tips for beginner filmmakers, and thank you for clicking on the video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, ring the bell, leave a comment. I know everyone kind of has their own things, but these are just 3 things that have helped me along the way. So tip number 1 is to just work with what you have, whether that's the camera, the lighting, gimbals, just whatever gear you have or don't have, just embrace it and work with it. When I first started making videos, it's probably like 15 years ago, but it was skateboard videos. I've skateboarded pretty much my whole life, and my buddy had a little handy cam and we would just go out, skate, make little videos, and I kind of became the one that was always editing the videos. And then eventually I bought my own little camera and began making little skate videos, and I just kind of worked with that camera. Another reason I say to just work with what you have is because once you get like further into filmmaking, it gets expensive. Buying a very good camera with proper rigging equipment, and I mean the microphone, good lights, good tripod, gimbal, I mean everything just adds up and it gets so expensive. I think it's really important to just get creative and to work with what's around you. I mean, I still don't have the best equipment by any means, but I do try and get as creative as I can. Even when it comes to like using lights, I have this LED light made from a cake pan that I made. Shout out to Daniel Schiffer, by the way. And on my other light, I have cardboard kind of like around it to shape my light so it's not spilling onto the back. And it's just little things like that you got to get creative. I've set my phone up on like piles of books before, or even my camera. I've set my camera up on like a shelf with a backpack just to try and get that right angle. I mean, you just got to get creative with your surroundings. So when you can really sit down and just kind of look around you and see what you have to work with, and then start working with that stuff, I think that is gonna help you become like a way better filmmaker, because it's really how you're using that equipment is how it's gonna define what kind of filmmaker you're gonna be. It's not the equipment that defines you, but it's gonna be you that defines the equipment, or whatever it is you're using. I don't know, boxes. I got cardboard boxes up right now. All right, so tip number 2 is gonna be framing. This is probably one of the most basic and first things you'll learn as a filmmaker, but it's one of those things that you will use this throughout your whole career, however long that is, or short, or whatever. This is very important. So the rule of thirds, you may have heard of it, you may have not heard of it, but it's basically a grid pattern that goes across your screen with 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines. And basically these lines are just telling you where to place your subject. So basically what the rule of thirds is used for is when you have a subject position on the left side of your frame, but they're looking off to the right side of your frame, you're gonna want them placed on that left line. And it's the same for the right side. If they're on the right side of the frame, looking off the left side, you're gonna want them placed on that grid line. The top line, basically what I try to do is keep that for the headline. If it's a close-up shot, I usually try and put their eyes right on it. If it's a full shot, I'll try and keep their head right about on the top of it. It's gonna look funky if you got someone placed at the very bottom of your screen and then there's just all this lead room at the top. Most cameras, even iPhones, they have a setting to where you can turn the rule of thirds on. It usually just says grid lines, but you just have to open your camera settings and I'm sure you'll find the option to turn the grid on. Alright guys, so tip number 3, which in my opinion is the most important tip and advice I can give, but it's to know that you're good enough. And the reason I say this is when I first started, even back in the day when I was making skate videos, like I love doing skate videos, and I loved creating videos and working with cameras, and I knew it was something that I was going to want to do for the rest of my life. I just didn't know how to pursue it. But when I got to a really rough point in my life, I just felt like I was not good enough to do it, that I couldn't do it, and I didn't know where to start. So there was a long time where I didn't even pick up a camera at all. Finally, I just got to a breaking point. I really just heard God tell me that I am good enough and I can do this. And ever since that point, I have been chasing this down. It's been about 2 years now, so I'm still a beginner. I'm still learning every day. I do try and do stuff every day with it. But really just knowing that you're good enough, holding on to that, and coming into certain situations and getting creative and knowing, hey, I can make this work, because you're gonna run into problems along the way. But just know that you're good enough to overcome them and to get through those problems. Alright, thank you guys for checking out the video. Please, if you're new to the channel, let me check out my previous videos. This is kind of the first tutorial video I've done. So check out some of my previous content. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions on future videos, leave a comment below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys later. Peace!